What if I told you that you were smoking the equivalent of 15 cigarettes a day? Lacking social connection can increase your risk of premature death by as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Unfortunately, our routine of modern life is that of loneliness and isolation. We don't organically create the connection that we need as humans. This person-to-person interaction is what we as humans fundamentally need in order to thrive, in order to live a vibrant life. This lack of connection has a tremendous impact on our health and well-being. In the 2023 report, the United States Surgeon General outlines this epidemic of loneliness and isolation in America. He touches on the critical attention to the fact that this trend line has been growing over the last 20 years, and loneliness directly affects our health. Take this statistic. In 2003, adults were spending way more time with their friends, 60 hours a month on average. Now, that's less than 20 hours a month connecting. The same is true for teenagers. In 2003, teenagers were spending 150 minutes a day hanging out and socializing with their friends. Now, it's less than 40 minutes. That's a 70% decrease in social connectedness among young adults. In an era when we can feel more connected than ever, we're actually more isolated. Using social media for 2 hours a day or more doubles your feeling of social isolation and loneliness. All of this directly affects our health. If you're an individual who has a sense of community connection, you're 29% less likely to have cardiovascular disease. The same is true for stroke. If you have a deep sense of belonging, you're a third less likely to experience this. And unfortunately, for those that are isolated and alone, you're twice as likely to experience and develop depression and anxiety. By not connecting with people, you're smoking the equivalent of 15 cigarettes a day. And we know that smoking is bad for our health. The same is true for loneliness and isolation. Isolation is killing us. If we do nothing, we'll be the saddest and loneliest that humans have ever been. This is a national crisis, ladies and gentlemen. But lucky for us, there's something we can do about it. There's something that you can do about this. Unlike so many challenges where human impact, our effort feels insignificant, when it comes to social connection, we have a tremendous impact to be had. You can make an impact today when it comes to social connection with others. And this individual action has an outsized impact as it relates to building community and having a sense of belonging. By investing in anti-isolation practices, you will fortify your mental and social health. Put simply, we're talking about being happier and healthier. We need belonging and connection to exist. This connection leads to a happier, a healthier life for you, your neighbors, and your community. This is fundamental for us to thrive. In recent years, we all experienced the lack of connection and how hard it was. The isolation of the COVID-19 pandemic was a lonely and challenging time. This void of connection has caused all of us to understand the need for human connection. It is not a luxury, it is a need. So, how is it that we create connection, belonging, and a sense of community? In the Surgeon General's report, he outlines 3 primary things. It's through people, spaces, and moments that we start to develop that sense of community and connection. Most obvious is people. We need other humans to build social bonds with. These are friends, families, and coworkers. It happens through small group conversations, through intentionality, through asking people to spend time with one another in quality ways. That's how we form a sense of belonging. A less obvious one is spaces. In our modern lives, we need places outside of our home, work, and school that we can physically form an emotional and social connection with. This could be your neighborhood park, a restaurant you go to often with your family, or perhaps your community church. The last aspect is moments. Moments of social connection are those group experiences where we feel like we're a part of something larger than ourselves. You could be going to a concert and everyone is passionately singing along to the same. Or it's like you, here today, attending a community TEDx event, where you're gathering together to learn something and be inspired with others. These aspects, people, spaces, and moments, are the foundational framework for how we develop community, belonging, and that deep sense of connection that we need to thrive. 12 years ago, I found myself moving into a basement apartment in the city of Chicago, a metro of 9.5 million people. I knew no one. My roommate was a new classmate in grad school. And fortunately, we both had a deep desire to build community for the short time that we lived in Chicago. Within the first week that we're living there, a friend of a friend invited us out for lunch. A simple invitation, but to a stranger, is incredibly meaningful. Over lunch, I was so relieved to get the sense that I'd be able to make friends in this new city. To invite someone to do something, a stranger, is a way that we form connection with people in meaningful ways. My roommate and I started to think about the spaces that we might be able to find community in. We soon found a neighborhood coffee shop that we really enjoyed and decided to become regulars. We quickly learned the baristas' names, they knew who we were, and when the morning would come when we'd walk in and grab our cup of coffee, it was a warm sense of welcome when we'd open the door. After a month of living in a new city, we'd already started to find that sense of community. On a fall Friday night, I had an experience that helped solidify my connection to the city of Chicago. I joined a group bike ride. Now, this wasn't a small group bike ride. This was with hundreds and hundreds of other people on their bicycles, swarming the streets of Chicago in a critical mass. It was something like I'd never experienced in my entire life. As the wind blew in my face and we rode through the city with music and people cheering, I found myself feeling like I was a part of something bigger than myself, that I was a part of a community. After my time in Chicago, I moved back to Fargo. I quickly started to miss the people, experiences, and places that I'd had in this other city. In order to foster that sense of belonging at home, I decided to start a nonprofit dedicated to fighting social isolation. To date, me and my team have created hundreds and hundreds of community experiences, touching the lives of over 750,000 attendees, creating that sense of community, connection, and sense of belonging. By now, I hope you realize the immense impact that social connection and belonging has on our health. It's through these small, everyday decisions that our overall health outcomes are determined. There are simple things that we all know are good for us. Brushing our teeth, washing our hands, sleeping enough, drinking so many glasses of water per day. What about our mental and social health? What are the things that we can do every day to improve our social well-being? Well, I'm here to challenge you to 3 new habits that you can adopt. They're small, regular elements to help build your social and mental well-being. The first one is waving. A simple human connection, a way of saying hello, that personal acknowledgement from one person to another. It could be you walking down the street and waving at a stranger, or perhaps you see a neighbor and you think you're maybe too far away to wave. You should still wave at that person. It's a way to say, I see you, and to put that outreach into the world. The second habit is to become a regular. It's through our routine and consistency to spaces and businesses that we start to form that physical and emotional connection to the environment around us. Try learning your barista's name by going to the same coffee shop on a regular basis. Make a commitment to go to the gym or a group fitness class the same time each week. Or maybe you start walking or biking your neighborhood and you take the same route whenever you go out. Pretty soon, you're going to start to recognize people in these environments. And even if it's a passive social interaction, you may not know who that person is, you're still ratifying and building your social and isolation resiliency. My final habit for you is to adopt spending time in public spaces. Seek out community moments like this. Envision you wake up on a Saturday morning and you go to the local farmer's market. Maybe you run into a friend, see a coworker, or have a conversation with someone new. These large group experiences are unique. They're actually dependent on your participation in community. If you weren't here today, or if you didn't show up at the Saturday farmer's market, none of those connections would have happened. In community, your presence has a significant impact on those around you. And by joining public spaces, you start to invest in your social, mental health, and build community around you. Social isolation is affecting more people every single year. By intentionally investing your time in these 3 things, waving, becoming a regular, and seeking out community moments, you can improve your health and the health of those around you. Your action today can create the belonging that we deserve. Your action today could save a life.